I'm very fascinated today. I'm so excited to share the journey of amazing founder of a beauty brand. And I'm absolutely amazed by your journey, and I can't wait to share your story to the world. So I would like to introduce this amazing founder of the skincare brand that I am in love with. I see wonderful results, and I can't wait for the world to hear about you. Would you tell me more? Who are you, your name, and how you started this journey?
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm Dr. Tina Meder. I'm a dermatologist and the founder of the Meder by Dr. Tina Meder brand. I am specialist in the cosmetic safety, and I am cosmetic safety expert first and foremost. But I am a dermatologist as well, and for many years I specialized in the research and development of professional skincare solution as well as the home skincare solution. And one day I launched my own brand. That was in 2009, 15 years ago. Since that, we are working hard to get best results for the skin of people around the world.
Awesome. I'm very excited to hear more about, because I know in beauty business, especially in skincare, it's extremely difficult to grow the brand, to grow the business, because there's a lot of competition. And I would love to know, like, what actually inspired you first to go in the medical field? Because I know you're both cardiologists before. Yeah. Who was your inspiration? Who was your role model that you look for from your childhood, or like how you actually went to the medical field first and how you transitioned to the skincare?
Actually, since a very early childhood, as soon as I remember myself, I was so excited by the chemistry. Wow. Chemistry always mesmerized me, this science of transformation of one substance to another. And I started experiment when I was very young, like 6 years old, 7 years old. I just bought notebook, and I put the notebook of Tina and experiments of the world. And I did a lot of different things, just trying to how different substances react with each other. And I wanted to be chemist. But I was also a professional athlete. I was a swimmer, professional swimmer. So I thought about my professional sport career as well. And my mother was absolutely against my chemistry career, because at this time and in the place when we lived, that was a dangerous job. So she told me, over my dead body, you'll become a chemist and you should be a medical doctor. And I thought, okay, I will try it. And I went to the hospital for the practice. I was 13. And I came to the hospital and asked if you can hire me as a janitor in the surgery block, because I'm so interested in this inside work. And funny thing, they hired me. I was almost 14. That was my very first job. And I loved it.
I have to mention that, which country was it?
I'm Estonian, so okay. I was born in Estonia, and that's everything. It was in Estonia, but that was USSR time.
Right.
So it was completely different country before Estonia became independent.
I remember my time when I was there, and to be honest, like, it's unheard of to go and get a job as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a parents to go with you and actually talk to you. Most often you have to pay to get a position, to get a job, even as a janitor. So your story inspired me so much, because I did the same. I was 14 and I went and actually got a job with myself, So I know, like, it was very difficult, very scary for me, but
that was frightful, right?
Exactly, yeah. But I remember the excitement that was like, oh my gosh, I'm working. Like,
I took a decision. Yeah, I didn't say it to anyone, not to my mother or my father. I just went to the hospital. That was a very small town, 5,000 people. And I've been in this hospital so many times in my childhood, because I am risky, so I traumatized a lot. And I just came to the surgeon and told, I want to work here. I want to work before I will go to the medicine. And they laughed, but they hired me.
That's awesome. That is very fascinating, you know. So what actually inspired you to go to the skincare field?
Actually, that's a funny story because I started as a cardiologist.
Right.
And I got my certificate as a cardiologist. I've been in the internator, and my professor just told me then we should do some research about women's health. And I was working with a group of 80 women with congenital heart disease after they gave birth to their child in the first year. So my role was to explore how they feel, how their health transformed after giving birth. And I was young, I was 24 years old, and I went to the houses of these women, and I expected everything except the interest to the skincare. Because for me, they've been women with this congenital heart disease. They've got this little baby, so I expected them to ask me some medical questions, but they answered my question as they started to ask me how to treat wrinkles, what to do about pigment spot. And I just wanted to make them happy. And as I was still passionate about the chemistry and research, just like a hobby, all about cosmetic skincare formulation, I told him, oh, okay, I will mix up the cream for the oily skin for you and for dry skin for you. And I've been bringing them creams. And they started to ask me, can I bring the cream for their friends? And I just started to mix up creams for my patients. And in a few months, I discovered that maybe I will try new career. And I was pregnant myself at this point, and I got maternity leave. And I said, now I'm on maternity leave, I have time, so let me try. And I've never been back to cardiology.
Wow, that is amazing, you know. And I believe, like, being pregnant, you probably were more concerned about the safety, because there's a lot of skincare product that has a lot of chemicals that actually do more harm that help us to look better, right? Or we pay a very high price to look better with the harsh ingredients or harsh chemical process that going through our skin, through our body, that we actually, you know, absorbing that. So tell me more about the safety side and how you actually decided to be very conservative and work on that side, because I think it's very, very important for us to understand that when we apply on your skin, and skin is the largest organ in our body, that our body absorbs all of the ingredients, and how actually you come up with the idea of bringing like the safest and most convenient and the most important part, working skin ingredients or skin formulas that actually give the results without the sacrificing or without the going through the harsh part of making worse for our body.
Paradoxically, my passion for the safety made me less conservative and more innovative, because I started my safety research with existing ingredients, classic ingredients, which everyone seemed like safe, but they weren't, because salicylic acid, that's very efficient, but that's not so safe. You can't get the systemic absorption. That's why it's forbidden to use in the pregnancy now. But when I started, no one been speaking about it. And I was very concerned about the safety of the salicylic acid and glycolic acid. Phenol was used at this time very largely, and even retinol. And I started to do my own research. I started to contact brands. I worked as a skin therapist. I refused to work with products which I've seen as unsafe. And I was very careful about the pregnancy, because my whole career started because I was inspired by these women who'd been pregnant just recently, and I was pregnant myself. And I felt how society sees you differently when you're pregnant. I felt like I was a doctor, I was a cardiologist, I did scientific research. But when my pregnancy became visible, people started to speak to me like I'm a child again. Like, oh my God, just care about your baby. Don't think about this, don't think about that. I felt traumatized by that. And I really think in pregnancy, even now in 2023, it's ignored by the beauty industry. Maybe
For sure,
because the
absolutely.
beauty industry is very much run by male
Absolutely, yes, mostly by
managers,
male. Exactly.
mostly by men.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't hear it anymore. Like pregnancy is only 9 months. It's a very long 9 months
Exactly.
of women's life. Maybe for men, that's only 9 months. But I know women, as I know, will say only next to this period of the life.
Absolutely.
So-
Especially if they have not just one baby, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I thought that if the product is not safe enough to be applied on the skin in the pregnancy, this should not be applied on the skin at all. And fortunately, we are living in this exciting period of the scientific progress. Then we had the whole new generations of ingredients. And that's how I started my own brand, because I found new ingredients in the 2006. That was first time in my life I heard about peptides and probiotics. And I thought, oh my God, finally, safe ingredients which you can apply on the skin even for pregnant or breastfeeding women. And they're even more efficient than classic ingredients. And that's how my journey started.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research about peptides, and I just amazed like the value and how much it can extend the longevity and how we look. And I was like so excited that you actually put that in a skincare product that we can use. So tell me more about that, because I know it's expensive. I would love to know about how you produce the product, where it is, and the most important, I would love to ask like about the water that you told me that you guys do it in Sweden. It's just like very fascinating. So I would love to hear more about it, if you could share that.
I'm all about detail. It's just in my nature. When I'm going to work, I'm very detailed about each little technical nuance of the formulation of the product. So when I choose how to go and where to go, I choose Swiss laboratory, which I worked previously as a safety expert. I was sure they're very best in the world. And they're very passionate about the quality and the safety, but also they are open-minded enough to accept my idea to introduce peptides in the scientifically proven to be efficient concentration into the cosmetic product. Because obviously peptides are very new molecules, they're truly expensive. So in cosmetic formulations, very often peptides are used in the very low concentration to avoid high price. And my first product, I wanted to use 10% of this peptide, my relaxing peptide, known as arginine now. And I came to a few laboratories just to discuss the matter. And many of them told me that you made a mistake with a zero. It should not be 10%, it should be 1%. If not, it will cost fortune. But when I came to my Swiss laboratory, they told me, you're crazy, but let's try. And we tried, and we created a very efficient product. And since that, we are using it. And I love what you tell about longevity, because I am very passionate about biohacking, but skin biohacking. That's if the biohacking in global, that's an active longevity for our body. Skin biohacking for me, that's an active longevity functionality of the skin. We should not get skin dryness at 50.
Absolutely.
We should not get wrinkles at 40. We can avoid it.
Absolutely.
With peptides.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I always say that, doing this proper skincare routine on a daily basis, it's essential if you want to look younger longer. Because you can work out, you can have tight muscle, but if you're not doing anything for your skin, you're still going to look old. You're still going to look wrinkled.
Absolutely.
There's nothing will help. And I've been listening to a lot of plastic surgeon doctors and seeing their work and what they do. And what fascinates me about that, every doctor will say, when people ask about the results of their procedure, what they do, they say that it all depends on the skin condition of the client. because they can pull your skin, but they cannot replace your skin texture. So actually, skin texture is something that you can work on a daily basis and maintain the results. And then the fascinating story about your product. So I have a friend, and I look at her skin. She looks amazing. To her age, she looks amazing. So I asked her, like, what do you do? Do you do Botox? And she said no. And I'm a cosmetologist, so like I know what people do, and I can look at the person and tell what they do, how they're taking care of their skin. And I was like, she's doing something, like it's something that I don't know about that she's doing. That she looks so great, and I can tell she's not doing Botox. But there was something that she was doing that I didn't know what. And when I actually find out about your product, especially about the Botox effect of the skincare, which is unheard of, I was like very, very excited that we can have something that can actually help externally without traumatizing our muscles. Tell us more about the Botox skincare and how you actually come up with this idea to create something like that.
Actually, that was my very first idea in 2006.
Wow.
I've seen this first peptide, known as arginine now, and I've seen probiotics. And I came to the laboratory which I worked. I was a head of international training in the big Swiss laboratory. I worked as a medical researcher for big French laboratory, and I went to them both. And I thought, oh my God, now we have ingredients. We can create alternative to Botox for pregnant women.
Wow.
And breastfeeding women, toxin-free. And both of laboratories got this marketing meeting, and they thought, no, that's a niche pregnancy. It's a temporary concern, and it's too complicated to be introduced in the beauty industry. Women will not understand this message. And I thought, women are smart. Exactly. They will understand. You can explain absolutely everything to women. And I thought, okay, I'll think. And I came home, I discussed it with my husband, and he told me, do it yourself. You are an expert, you know how to do it. And we sold our apartment and invested everything in R&D, research and development. And in 3 years' time, we launched our first product that was only one product, the professional set for wrinkles correction based on peptides with probiotics-based exfoliation. And I still love it. It's still the best-selling product. And actually, that's not so complicated technically, but there are a lot of nuances. What is very important, first and foremost, good quality peptides. We are buying our peptides in the university laboratories to be sure about the quality and all scientific basis about it. We are using peptides in the concentration proven to be efficient by the independent research. Also, we are using a lot of other ingredients, making the skin more permeable and more responsible for peptide that should respond, because, as you mentioned, skin is an active, largest organ of our body. We cannot force skin to do anything. We should embrace skin ability to react. So we are using these peptides and probiotics, and I'm very in detail. So one of reason why we are producing our product in Switzerland, that's because our laboratory is situated literally in the Swiss mountain. We collect alpine water every spring from melting glacier. Because alpine water, that's a natural prebiotic, that's rich in minerals, that's really good for all types of skin, that's calm down, and it's really boost regenerative potential of the skin. So you can create the formulation with exactly the same peptides, but you take industrial water or alpine rich water, you will get different products. And I choose to get best product.
I love that. I love that. It's amazing, and what is I think what is important to mention is that if it's safe for a pregnant woman, that any woman who actually thinks about her health and thinks about applying ingredients that doesn't have harm effect should consider to have this product, because definitely it will make a difference, if you see the results, because there's a lot of natural products that are on the market, but they don't work, to be honest. So I'm very blown away that you come up with this idea and you actually work so hard, took so much time to develop and create this formula and bring this so we as a woman can enjoy and have this awesome product, and it definitely helped us look better and feel better, So obviously for me is fascinating because I know this industry a lot and I know how much work it takes to have that. So tell me more about, like, you mentioned that you have your product in the different countries, and I'm sure that having a business and then like growing the business, it's very, very hard. How you actually overcome those challenges, and what was like your most challenging times that you went through to actually keep this product and grow this product to the level that you grow?
I've got a few moments that have been really challenging, and first 3 years in the research and development, I was very excited, to be honest. That was very new for me. Before I started, I thought I know everything about the production. Obviously, I did not. So I discovered a lot of things, and that was no time to worry about, because I was all passionate about results, about product. But my first difficult night, that was the night before we launched product on the market. That was 26th of July of 2009, one day after my birthday, and the next day I planned the very first presentation of the product. And I didn't sleep this night because I just opened my eyes and I thought, oh my God, what I did. I've got this career. I was a top manager of big laboratories. I traveled around the world. My role was visiting 43 countries over the world to train trainers and to discuss safely matters which I wasn't responsible for. And now I created my own product. I'm responsible for absolutely everything. I did not sleep this night, but I went to the presentation. I met first 30 skin therapists and dermatologists, and I've been lucky to meet open-minded, qualified, highly professional people who embrace the idea. They thought, oh my God, that's cool. Let's try. We like this toxin-free concept. We like the idea that we can really correct wrinkles without harm anybody. But after there've been a lot of moments, especially in the first years of the brand existence, I didn't expect it for brand being global, because, to be honest, I believed that I will just create professional set for my clinic, because I got my clinic in Antibes, Côte d'Azur, south of France. And for my friends, for my colleagues, for my relations, maybe hundreds of people around the world. And in the first 3 years, it became much more popular. We've got 14 countries of distribution, and I still run my clinic. And I've got my youngest daughter when I was 41. And I thought, oh my God, I just cannot run this all together. And I closed my clinic. I'm still nostalgic, I still miss it. But I closed my clinic in 2014 because the brand became global, and it was another baby,
Right.
like my baby daughter. And so I just continued to work. And first 10 years, that was quite difficult. But we've got our first global award, Marie Claire Prix d'Excellence de Beauté, for the best skin innovation of the year 2020. And since that, everything became a little bit more easier.
That's awesome. That is very fascinating, because I know the journey of skincare companies is very, very
It's a
not easy.
nightmare.
It's a exactly. Yes, it is. And I know a lot of people, they just cannot sustain in the business because it's very expensive. It takes a lot of education, dedication to actually grow and be as a brand.
And resilience.
Exactly. Yes.
The main thing about your own brand, that's the emotional and physical resilience.
Absolutely.
For the first 10 years.
Absolutely, especially in this world of, as you mentioned, of men being and ahead of the cosmetics, and because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and of course there's a lot of pieces, a lot of money involved. So I would love you to share like the most fascinating story of your cosmetologists or people who actually use the product and how that changed their life or their clients or patients?
There have been many stories, and I love to receive emails about how people react and how they use our products and the effect. And I very often I'm thinking then, oh my God, I'm so happy I create a product for real people, for real women, because sometimes, I'm sorry to say it, but I have an impression that our industry is creating products for some imaginary women, which me personally, I never met them. These women who are always happy, or have no concern except one wrinkle on the forehead or something else. Women who have time to stay relaxed twice a week with a mask.
Yeah.
I don't know these women who can beat them twice a week. So I love when people just send me letters or email or messages like, thank you for masks. I can fix mask around my ears. And I make breakfast for my kid. And finally, I have time to care about myself, to get mask done every week, because I just put it on my face and I can move, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You offer me freedom, it's so precious. Or from people who suffered from acne for 20 years, who tried literally everything. Laser, chemicals, antibiotics. They suffer a lot. And finally, they tried prebiotic therapy for acne, which we launched in 2013. First in the world, it was extremely risky. Once again, a lot of people told me that women will not understand the idea, but I really believe that women are smart.
Yes.
And now they're writing me, thank you. After 20 years of acne, I'm free of acne. That's a new life.
That's awesome.
Rosacea. So that's awesome. As a dermatologist, I feel probably the best about women I help to get rid of acne and rosacea.
That's awesome. And I have to mention that the thoughts and effort that you put into developing every kit, that it's so easy for the cosmetologist, so easy for professionals to use, because it's very clear. There's like steps that are labeled that you can use. You cannot make mistakes. It is based on certain concerns that you can just take a pack, go through the pack, and you know that you're gonna get result no matter what. That is like very, very fascinating. And then I'm sure like you put a lot of thoughts and effort. And then I have to mention that the mask is so good that you actually put it here, and then you actually work with your neck, hands-free, as you mentioned. And it's just like amazing that you can do that. You can do your home routine at home and just have your regular life, because even like having done 15-20 minutes, sometimes I don't have that. But if you have ability to do that, because I remember once I was putting mask and I literally just did like a food wrap on top to keep my mask on, because I had to have a million other things to do and I had no time to lay down for 15 minutes. So the idea and the details that you actually went through to develop and create this is absolutely great. I want to go back to the biohacking, because I believe I'm like all about futuristic things. Like I love about everything about future and what's coming. And there's a lot of new things that come into the world with AI, with the 3D printer, like with the biohacking, all of that. So I know for sure, because like I know a lot of people in the biohacking industry, that they care a lot about internal health. They do stem cells that cost like hundreds of $1,000s. They do a lot of, but to be honest, I know those people, I look at them and they look old. So I look at them, I'm like, maybe the stem cells work, but I can't see that outside, which makes me think, and especially like knowing that the doctors telling that they cannot replace the skin texture. So it makes me think that if you want to look your best as long as possible, like you have to do certain steps every single day in order to maintain your skin. And even when I look about, for people who work out every day, like they have really great muscles, especially if you look like men and women. I look at women they have really nice muscles and their skin looks so much better than men. And now I know why, because men mostly, they don't taking care of their skin. They do nothing about it.
Exactly.
And even with the great muscles, great toned body, they still look old, they still look wrinkled. Tell me more about what is the most important steps that every person can do or should do if they want to look younger longer, if they want to maintain the youthful look, even though they believe like aging gracefully or so on, like what they can do in order to extend the longevity, how they look.
The longevity of the skin is based on the functionality of the skin. And functionality of the skin is defined by a few functions. First of it, protective. So skin should be efficient barrier. And unfortunately, in our modern world, it's so difficult to keep up because of the air pollution, of the stress we are living with. Our urban life is just damaging our barrier all the time. We are speaking a lot about the ultraviolet, but we don't speak enough about air pollution.
Yeah.
And we don't speak about self-harm to our skin barrier, because the use of all this polishing, constantly exfoliating and renewing ingredients, is just killing the skin barrier, which we should keep intact if we want our skin functional. The first thing I will say is that will sound simple, especially in the context of the biohacking, but that's cleansing. But not any cleansing. The cleansing should be smart and very careful. So I'm using the very gentle cleanser, which acts as a mask on our skin, just repairing the skin lipid barrier, but in the same time, restoring microbiome, because the microbiome, that's the key to our skin barrier. We can delegate this job to our microbiome very much. Another thing about the skin functionality, that's microcirculation. No organ can circulate without proper blood circulation in this organ, and skin is no exception. And we don't care enough about the microcirculation in the skin because it's very specific. There are a lot of very small capillaries, and one of the best ways is a topical application of capillary strengthening ingredients such as niacinamide. In some situations that will be estin, caffeine, horse chestnut extract, green tea extract, but using smartly. And finally, if we think about top three, that's moisture. Not only the moisturization of the superficial layer, despite that's very important, because microbiome loves water. I love to say that we are the microbiome of our planet. And we are the planet for our microbiome. And as humanity and animals, they're living next to river and the sea and lakes. That's how our microbiomes react. They live next to the water, so we should create for them this beautiful rivers and lakes on our skin. But also, we should recreate condition when the skin is able to hold water, like it did in our childhood. So we are using a lot of different kinds of water magnets in our ingredients, which are able to penetrate a little bit deeper and hold these precious water molecules in our skin. And when your skin is moisturized, protected, and alive and energetic with microcirculation, obviously it will age much slower and much more beautifully.
Absolutely. And I look at your skin looks super healthy, which is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate your deep explanation about this. And tell me this, do you wash your face in the morning with a cleanser?
Yeah, absolutely. I wash my face twice a day because you should help your microbiome every 12 hours.
Awesome.
You
awesome.
should not leave it without help.
So let's summarize to our audience, what is the 3 simple steps that they can do every single day in order to maintain the best result?
Speaking as a skin biohacker, as I think I am, first of all, cleanse up your skin with a lot of care for your microbiome. Second, use antioxidant protection. That's extremely important for your skin because free radicals are all around us and they attack our skin every minute. And third step, protect your skin. Protect your skin helps your skin to hold water inside and protect from this a little bit hostile world of our modern civilization.
Awesome, awesome. Let's talk about how often persons should go and see the specialist and do professional treatments, and what they should do on a daily basis at home, like how they can maintain their results, and what is like the must if you want to have the best skin ever. Like what's the must when you come and see your specialist?
Paradoxically, I will say it, and sometimes it's better to do a little bit less than a little bit more. So I always advise to step out just one step before it will be too much. Speaking about the professional treatments, if you can afford by time and money and anything to go to professional skincare specialist once a month, it would be awesome. If you cannot do it on the monthly basis, I will say then let's keep up 4 times a year schedule, like once in a quarter, for deep cleansing, because we can cleanse up the skin much deeper in the professional environment with use of advanced technology, for some advanced stimulation, biophysical stimulation, because there are a lot of new machines now, new energy assisted devices. They're really smart technology, really new, and with a good safety profile, but also for the use of professional skincare. Professional skincare, it's more concentrated, it's more intense. In the frame of professional treatment, they will use more products than you can use at home, even in theory. If you can do it on a regular basis, all you need to do at home that keep up to your routine, day and night, cleans up your skin, protect your skin with antioxidant. You can also use some products individually, like if you have the tendency for the skin dryness, you can always use specific moisturizing concentrate. If your skin is prone to period breakout, you can use specific prebiotic-based product in the last week of your period to prevent it. You can use anti-redness product or anti-wrinkles product at home. And once a week, just take 5 minutes, exfoliate your skin, apply the mask, fix around your ears, and do whatever you want. I do my yoga on Sunday mornings. That's like a double self-care, yoga and mask at the same time. And you're good, you're okay. That's, you spend like 5-7 minutes a day and a little bit more once a week. Yeah. And maybe 10-12 hours a year for professional treatment. That's all you need to spend to keep your skin in the best condition.
Yeah, I agree. I would say like probably not a lot of women realize like how important to do that. I own a studio and we have a lot of women who go through our doors, and then sometimes like they're 60, 65 and they say, I never do anything for myself.
Yeah, very often.
And it makes me sad. It's like, because you know, we as a woman tend to give a lot to others, but we put ourselves as the last, and we don't, you know, value how much, like how it's important for us to taking care of us. Because when you actually perform better, when you feel better, everyone around you. So like, I love what we do because we not just touch one person, you know, like we make a woman feel better. And then she comes home, like she is better to her kids, to her loved ones, you know, to her husband, to her men. And I feel like we actually like put the seeds of having better environment, better understanding of everything around us, because like we inspire women to taking care of themselves, to do something for themselves, and they come home and they pass it to their loved ones. So like I admire what you do, because I know it's a hard work. I know it's require a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of love. Like you have to love what you do. And I can tell just like by watching your eyes, like how they sparkle when you talk about the things that you develop, the things that you work on. Like you do a great things to this world, and I truly appreciate, admire you. You are amazing, and I love that you're not just touching one person at a time, but you actually bring more to their homes, bring more to the people they loved. Tell me how hard it is to create a formula. I'm sure it's like a lot of time, a lot of work. Like I would love to know more about the process, like how it actually works.
Actually, that's a hard work, and that you should be resilient, you should be patient, and you should be ready to the low rate of success, I can say.
Wow.
Many people, even specialists in the skincare and skin therapists, they think that you have an idea of the formula, you bring it to some laboratory, and they can realize it, and it will work.
Yeah.
That's not like that. When I first have had my idea about using peptides in the formulation, I've got an idea to create one product. I should create 6 of them to prepare skin properly, to achieve the best penetration of the product, to protect the skin after this penetration. And sometimes I'm working on the formulation for years. For example, our very first awarded product, Vitalong Oil, our very first properly biohacking product, I can say, I created for more than 6 years. I've got an idea to create a copy of healthy sebum of the skin. Like just take a copy of the healthy young sebum of 27 years old woman with no skin concerns and just made it from organic oils. What can go wrong? We did hundreds trials, more than hundreds of prototypes before we found, with the help of mathematician models, how we can create it. And it took a lot of time. So when I am coming with an idea, I keep in mind that I am not a real chemist. I was a dreamer of chemistry, but I collaborate with a great chemist team in our Swiss laboratory. So I am bringing the idea as a dermatologist, as a safety expert, and we are discussing it together, and we create the first prototype, which can be technically realized, because not every idea you can realize technically. For example, I worked many years for sensitive product based on the allantoin. I didn't come to the solution because in the concentration I want to use, it's crystallized. I'm working 12 years on the sunscreen formulation. I didn't achieve perfection, which I'm ready to launch. So and after step by step, we are realizing this first prototype, and when I am satisfied clinically, we are going for tests, and we are testing the product. Probably like many people, many specialists in the industry, they are saying that I'm excessive on testing. I don't think I am, because I test every product for 1 year.
Wow.
And I do not only mandatory tests, but we are doing every test for possible genetic interaction. We are doing epigenetics for every product. We are doing microbiome testing for every product, because a skincare product you will apply on your skin 700 times a year, maybe more. So it is a real part of your body.
Absolutely.
If you accept it. It should be not only efficient, but also very comfortable and safe. And it should not be too expensive. And also, I believe that we should minimize the use of products. So I'm trying to create texture with the best stretching, so you can apply small amount and to get a full result. With our 50 milliliters box, you can use it for 3 months.
Wow.
So you just buy 4 bottles in a year, not 6 bottles.
Right.
And that's better for the planet. So that's a lot of work in many different angles. It's always very exciting. And I never created a product in the less than 2 years, never. And I don't think I can.
Wow, that is fascinating. And you told me that when you started, you care so much about, not just when you started, but you care so much about the environment. But when you started, you didn't want to do any boxes or anything, just because you were like so concerned about the environment, the planet, and which is amazing. I think a lot of people would resonate with that because if everyone start from themselves and care about what they can do in the world, how they can make this world better. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
This world will be so much better place.
I'm very passionate about the microbiome science, as I told, and I really feel that we are microbiome of our planet, and now we behave like a hostile microbiome for our planet. And if we don't stop it, the planet will find prebiotics or probiotics to suppress our growth. So we should be very careful. We should be loving each other and our planet in every little thing we do every day of our life.
Yes, and it starts from one person at a time, So that's why I love the passion that you have and the care and the thoughts that you put it into creating this. And like even when I look for the cosmetologists, it's so easy for them because it all has their own dose of each product that you put it on. So it's amazing that that the client's going to get the best results because they get the right amount of product. And it's also great for the environment.
Yeah, absolutely. We are using fully recycled plastic, PP5, and I think that's very important to pre-dose product because that's how we avoid a waste of product. And each of client receives a full dose, 50 milliliters of professional skincare products in one facial. That's huge.
Absolutely. And it's so easy, even if you have a spa where you have people working for you, it's so easy because everything has a dose, everything has, a package that for sure that this went through the client and this actually, yes, and client got the
Nothing
result.
will be mixed up, nothing will be used wrong. But honestly, when I worked for big brands, they always told me, Tina, you simplify things too much. And I never believed that you can simplify things too much for professional work.
Yeah.
So when I launched my own brand, I simplify things as much as I want because I'm an independent.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
I can create everything which really relate to my beliefs.
Awesome. I love that. I still want to recap and then talk about the peptide. I believe this is a future and in skincare and in longevity, how we can look so much better by using these products. I do believe that, and what I love about your product, it actually has a barrier that after the treatment, you can go and be in the sun, which is huge. You don't have to put any extra products in order to protect your skin, which is awesome. And the other things that I love about that, it's safe, like safety. It's like really, really amazing part that I believe is, I would love more people to know about. About that. We can have a great skincare regime every single day without the breaking the bank because on top of being effective, on top of being a great product with safe ingredients, it's also very affordable. So I'm very thankful
I'm trying
for
to do my best, and also peptides, they're also an inspiring idea because peptides, they are not molecules which stimulates the cells or trying to force cells to do something which cells doesn't want to do. Peptides are messengers. They are bytes of informations which are interacting with cells. It's all about better communication into the skin. And when you can get better communication, healthy communication, you can get better protection function. And you can protect your skin better even from the ultraviolet or the air pollution. And you just can feel again this amazing feeling of the skin comfort, forgotten by so many people since their childhood. So I really want to bring it to people and to give this safe, efficient product to use on every day. And obviously, if I can do it, really cheap, I will. we are doing our best to keep the price very
Quality.
affordable,
Yes.
but that's still Swiss manufacturing process. There's still peptides which we buy in the university laboratories. There's still amazing organic ingredients which we are buying from every part of the world. Centella we are buying in Madagascar.
Wow.
Kaigelia we are buying from Cabo Verde. Sheep butter we are buying from West Africa. Mushrooms for our anti-redness care we are buying from Norway.
Wow.
So there are a lot of work and a lot of details behind every product. And so when you take this product in your hand, believe me, that's a lot of love, a lot of science, and a lot of care about how it interacts with your own skin.
It's amazing, it's amazing. Like every time when I take a jar of cream, I'm going to think about, what the journey you went through to develop and create that, I'm very thankful for sharing your story, for sharing the way you actually come up with this great product and how you develop and the journey that you went through. I'm thankful for that. And the last question that I want to ask, what do you want to be remembered for?
Actually, no one asked me this question. That's a difficult question. I never thought about it. Maybe I want to be remembered as a woman who been thinking about real women's need and tried to help women to feel best about themselves and to live their lives happier. If I can take off women's shoulder just one concern about how they feel about their skin, I would be happy to be remembered for.
I love it. As a woman, I'm thankful for that because I think it is very, very important. Like I love when I come and work with my clients, they say, what else do you do? Tell me what else do you do? Because they want to look good. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I admire you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you so much.